Las Vegas shouldn't exist. It's a city of 2.3 million people, built in the heart of America's driest desert, surviving on just 4 inches of rain a year. Most people look at the neon lights and think Vegas is a disaster waiting to happen, a city days away from running dry. But the truth is the exact opposite. Through a billion-dollar engineering miracle and a radical legal loophole, Las Vegas has become the most water-secure city in the American Southwest. Here's how they did it. Las Vegas sits in the Mojave Desert, and the geography here makes it one of the most extreme environments in North America. This is the same desert that includes Death Valley, the ominously named valley located just a 2-hour drive from the Las Vegas Strip. Death Valley recorded the hottest temperature ever measured on the surface of the Earth, back in 1913, at 134 degrees Fahrenheit or 57 degrees Celsius. The city is located in a valley surrounded by mountain ranges on every side, some reaching over 10,000 feet in elevation. To the west, the Sierra Nevada mountains, including Mount Whitney, at 14,505 feet, which is the highest point in the contiguous United States, block moisture from the Pacific Ocean, creating what is known as a rain shadow. The towering mountains block most of the moisture that blows into North America from the westerly winds of the Pacific, and they cast this rain shadow across their eastern side where moisture fails to penetrate. Las Vegas sits directly within this rain shadow, but it is not just the lack of rain that makes this place hostile. Summer temperatures in Las Vegas regularly exceed 110 degrees Fahrenheit, and the city has recorded highs of 117 degrees Fahrenheit. Then there is the urban heat island effect. Millions of square feet of dark asphalt parking lots, black rooftops, and concrete absorb enormous amounts of heat during the day and then radiate it back out at night. The city itself becomes a man-made furnace that can be 15 to 20 degrees hotter than the surrounding natural desert, with surface temperatures on the pavement sometimes reaching 120 degrees Fahrenheit or higher during peak summer months. Las Vegas receives an average of just 4.2 inches of rainfall per year, making it one of the driest large cities in the United States. To put that in perspective, that is less than what Timbuktu in Mali receives at the southern edge of the Sahara Desert. London gets about 23 inches per year, New York City gets 47 inches, even Phoenix, another major desert city, gets 8 inches. In 2020, Las Vegas set a record that still stands today by going 240 consecutive days without a single drop of rain. And yet, despite this extreme aridity, the city supports 2.3 million permanent residents, plus approximately 42 million tourists who visit every single year. The Las Vegas Strip alone has around 150,000 hotel rooms, more than any other city on Earth. All of these people, residents and visitors alike, need water for drinking, showering, cooking, washing, and sanitation. When you do the math, it simply does not add up. The amount of water that naturally falls on this valley through the precipitation is nowhere near enough to sustain even a fraction of the population that lives here. Las Vegas actually means the meadows in Spanish, and the city got its name because there were natural springs here that created small patches of green vegetation in the middle of the desert. These springs were first discovered by Spanish explorers in 1829, and they later became an important stopping point for travelers heading west to California during the mid-1800s. The springs provided just enough water to support a small settlement, and when the city of Las Vegas was officially founded in 1905 and incorporated in 1911, it relied entirely on the underground aquifers that fed the natural springs. For the first few decades of the city's existence, the population remained relatively small and the aquifers were sufficient to meet demand. By the 1940s, with the population growing rapidly due to the construction of the Hoover Dam and the legalization of casino gambling in Nevada in 1931, the city had pumped the aquifers nearly dry. The natural springs that had sustained life in this valley for thousands of years were gone, completely drained in less than 4 decades of modern settlement. The city desperately needed a new source of water, and it needed it fast. In 1936, the Hoover Dam was completed on the Colorado River, just 30 miles southeast of Las Vegas, creating Lake Mead, which became the largest water reservoir in the entire United States. This massive body of water, when full, can hold approximately 26 million acre-feet of water. To put that into perspective, 1 acre-foot of water is enough to cover an acre of land 1 foot deep, which equals about 326,000 gallons. Lake Mead became the lifeline for Las Vegas and continues to supply approximately 90% of the city's water today. The remaining 10% comes from a combination of limited groundwater pumping and recycled water. Without Lake Mead, Las Vegas ceases to exist. It's that simple. The entire city, its 2.3 million residents, its 150,000 hotel rooms, its casinos, its golf courses, everything depends on a single source of water. If you visit Lake Mead today, you'll immediately notice something disturbing. Around the edges of the reservoir, covering the rock faces and cliffs, there is a massive white mineral ring staining the stone. This is sometimes called the bathtub ring, and it marks the historical high water level of the lake from decades past. This white ring is now more than 180 feet above the current water level of the lake. Lake Mead has been steadily dropping for more than 20 years now due to a combination of factors including prolonged drought conditions, climate change reducing snowpack in the Rocky Mountains where the Colorado River originates, and overuse of the river by millions of people across 7 states who depend on it. In June 2022, Lake Mead hit its lowest level since the reservoir was first filled, back in the 1930s. If water levels drop another 100 feet from where they are now, the Hoover Dam will no longer be capable of generating any hydroelectric power. If levels drop 175 feet below current levels, water will no longer be able to flow downstream through the dam at all. The white bathtub ring is essentially a visual countdown to catastrophe. Lake Mead has 2 existing intake pipes that draw water from the lake and send it through pipelines to Las Vegas. The first intake was built back in the 1930s and sits at an elevation of 1,050 feet above sea level. The second intake was built in the 1960s and sits at 1,000 feet. As the lake continued dropping, engineers realized that both of these existing intakes would eventually be above the waterline, meaning Las Vegas would literally have no way to draw water from the lake. So between 2010 and 2015, after 5 years of construction and at a cost of $817 million, the Southern Nevada Water Authority completed the third intake. This intake sits at an elevation of just 860 feet, nearly 200 feet below the current water level. To build it, engineers had to drill a tunnel nearly 3 miles long through solid bedrock beneath the lake. The tunnel is 20 feet in diameter. The third intake ensures that even if Lake Mead drops to catastrophically low levels, Las Vegas will still be able to draw water. It is a $1 billion insurance policy against the city running completely dry. But even with the third intake, Vegas faces another fundamental problem. Back in 1922, the 7 states controlling territory within the Colorado River Basin signed the Colorado River Compact. The agreement divided the river's water among the states. California received 59% of the lower basin's water, Arizona received 37%, Nevada received just 4%, a mere 300,000 acre-feet per year. California receives more than 14 times as much water from the Colorado River as Nevada does. That allocation was decided when Las Vegas had fewer than 3,000 people. Today, with over 2 million people, Nevada is stuck with the same tiny allocation set a century ago. This poverty ration should have been a death sentence for growth, except the city found a loophole. Here's where Las Vegas's genius comes in. Every single drop of water used indoors anywhere in Las Vegas is collected through the city's sewer system, sent to water treatment plants, cleaned and treated to near drinking water quality, and then returned directly to Lake Mead. The city returns approximately 220,000 acre-feet of treated wastewater to Lake Mead every single year. And this is the critical part. Under the 1922 Colorado River Compact, water that is returned to the river or to Lake Mead does not count against Nevada's allocation. The compact only counts consumption, meaning water that is used and not returned. Because of return flow credits, Las Vegas can draw approximately 445,000 acre-feet of water from Lake Mead in a typical year, which is about 40% more than they are technically allotted. But because the city returns around 220,000 acre-feet to Lake Mead, Nevada's total net consumption ends up being only about 225,000 acre-feet, well beneath their 300,000 allotment. Essentially, Vegas figured out how to take an extra gallon from the lake for every gallon they put back. That means indoor water use is essentially free from a water rights perspective, because it all gets recycled. You could turn on every shower, every sink, every faucet, in every hotel room in the city simultaneously, and it would not consume any net water, because it flows through sewers to treatment plants and back to Lake Mead. This 99% indoor water recycling rate is unmatched anywhere in the world. Indoor water use only accounts for about 40% of Vegas's total consumption. The other 60% goes to outdoor landscaping, primarily grass lawns. Water used outdoors evaporates or soaks into the ground and cannot be returned to Lake Mead. 1 square foot of grass requires 73 gallons of water per year in the desert, while desert landscaping requires only 18 gallons. Recognizing this, Vegas launched one of the most aggressive anti-grass campaigns in American history. In 2021, Nevada became the first state to ban non-functional decorative grass. Grass in front of office buildings, highway medians, or casinos is now illegal across the Las Vegas Valley. To encourage removal, the Southern Nevada Water Authority pays $3 per square foot to rip out grass and replace it with desert landscaping. Since the program began, Vegas has removed over 212 million square feet of grass, which is roughly equivalent to 4,860 acres. This grass removal program is saving approximately 9 billion gallons of water per year, nearly 10% of the city's entire annual water supply. Neighborhoods once green with lawns are now filled with rocks, gravel, desert plants, and artistic landscaping requiring almost no water. One common misconception is that the Bellagio fountains waste enormous amounts of water. The fountains contain approximately 12 million gallons, but it is all recycled in a closed-loop system. The only water lost is through evaporation when water sprays into the air, about 12,000 gallons per day. Over a year, that is roughly equivalent to 120 average American homes. The entire Las Vegas Strip, including hotels, casinos, pools, and fountains, uses less than 7% of the valley's total water supply. The remaining 93% goes to residential areas, mostly for grass lawns. Las Vegas has another strategy. Through a deal with Arizona, Nevada stores billions of gallons of unused Colorado River water in underground aquifers beneath Arizona's desert. This is water banking. When Nevada does not use its full allocation, instead of letting water flow downstream, the state sends it to Arizona, where it is injected deep underground into natural aquifer systems. Nevada receives water credits that can be redeemed during droughts. It is a savings account for water, giving Las Vegas backup supply when Lake Mead levels get dangerously low. What Las Vegas has achieved is unprecedented. Despite adding 750,000 new residents between 2002 and 2022, a population increase of more than 50%, the city managed to reduce its total water consumption by 26% over the same period. No other major American city has accomplished anything close to this. Through aggressive conservation policies, near total indoor water recycling, return flow credits, grass removal programs, and water banking, Las Vegas transformed from a wasteful desert mirage into the most water-efficient major city in the United States. As climate change worsens and droughts become more frequent across the American Southwest, the Middle East, Australia, and other arid regions, cities everywhere are looking at Las Vegas as a model. Phoenix, Los Angeles, and San Diego, along with international delegations from Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Israel, Jordan, and Australia, have visited Las Vegas to learn how the city manages to support millions in such extreme conditions. If a city of 2.3 million can not only survive, but thrive in a desert, receiving just 4 inches of rain per year, those lessons can be applied anywhere facing water scarcity. Las Vegas proved that with the right engineering, the right laws, and the right incentives, humans can sustain large populations even in the most inhospitable environments on Earth. The city that shouldn't exist has become the blueprint for how every water-scarce city on the planet will need to operate in the coming decades. Thank you so much for watching.